Have you ever had anything in your closet that you feel like an imposter when wearing, or anything that it's hard for you to look in the mirror when you wear it? Because that's how it is for me when I put on my Chinese wedding dress. Um, I think feeling like an imposter in your birth culture's clothing and jewelry and accessories is a very common issue when it comes to adoption. And so I figured that I would just take today's video to kind of process some of the conflicting emotions I'm feeling surrounding my wedding and my adoption and share them with you all. So, if you are new, my name is Lilly and I'm a Chinese transracial adoptee. I have come back from my very long hiatus, but I will hopefully be posting a bit more regularly about my journey with adoption. And if that is something you're interested in, I hope that you stick around. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I know that it has been a very long time. Actually, September, October, November, maybe just 3 months. I kind of took a impromptu break. I was feeling very unsure about continuing with posting. I knew that I was going to leave all of the videos up that I had, just so it was kind of like an archived resource for anybody in the adoption community, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to continue posting. I had a lot of conflicting feelings about how much I wanted to share about my life, how much I wanted to remain anonymous for now, if I wanted to keep vlogging just regular life things, and then like if I wanted to figure out how this channel would fit in with my life post grad school and finding a career and all of that stuff. And so for now, I think I am still comfortable sharing about my journey as an adoptee because I think that's something that's very important to talk about and just kind of destigmatize talk about mental health and making sure that we do still have a community. But for now, I'm going to step away from like weekly vlogging because honestly, it's a lot of work and I just don't really like sharing that much about my life. So yeah, welcome back. Welcome to new people. I am Lilly, and I'm a 27-year-old Chinese transracial adoptee, and I'm getting married. And so today I actually just scheduled my bridal photos. And for my bridal photos, I decided that I was going to wear a traditional Chinese wedding dress. I knew that I wanted to get one for this whole phase of my life, and I've been back and forth on if I actually want to wear it at my reception. I do have a traditional white wedding dress that I'll be wearing for the ceremony, but I figured for the photos it would be a nice sort of like keepsake to have this and to have a hair set and just kind of embrace that part of myself. But it also sparks a conversation that I had with a fellow adoptee, Grace, and originally I was going to film an episode just about wearing a qipao and feeling comfortable wearing one. But now that I have this wedding dress, I thought that I would kind of shift it more towards what's more relevant in my life. I put it on and it just doesn't feel as right as I thought it would. And it's not that I feel ugly in it, it's not that I'm just, I don't know, scared to wear it. It's just that it doesn't feel that comfortable. And it brings up a lot of emotions because putting on a Chinese wedding dress like immediately makes me think about the fact that if I was in China, my first family would be with me, preparing me for this next stage in my life. And I don't even know if they think about me right now. They really have no way of knowing that I'm getting married. They have no way of knowing what stage of life I'm in, that I'm in grad school or anything. And so it's just this weird place of knowing that I'm going to be putting on this dress that is such a significant part of me, but being part of a wedding ceremony and celebration where I'm still a minority, and being in this union knowing that my sister and I are the only two Chinese people in our family. And so, like, I've posted about this a bit on Instagram, but I have a really hard time wearing the dress and looking at myself in the mirror because it just brings up so many emotions that I am just very, very slowly processing. It just, like, I look at myself and I question, is this what my first mother looks like? Do I have siblings? Do I look like them? I'll picture myself in the mirror wearing this dress and seeing my first parents standing behind me. And I mean, I know I shouldn't have to add this disclaimer, but because, it's my first video back in a really long time, no, this does not mean that I don't love my adoptive family. Like, I am very excited for them to be in the photos with me, to celebrate with me, to continue the wedding planning process with me. But going through these seasons of life and going through these milestones just makes me acutely aware of the people that are not in my life right now. And I mean, this happened when I was compiling a guest list. It was so stressful because if you've been following along for a while, you know that this is actually the second wedding that I'm planning. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. If you want the backstory, find the previous episodes. But I was going through and figuring out who to add to the guest list, who to take off. And I was getting really stressed about it. And then I was like, I honestly, like, yes, I care about who's there because to me, this day is about the people I love the most being there. But there are some very important people that should be there that can't be there because I don't know who they are. And I mean, maybe I would feel more comfortable wearing this dress if my first family was there. I don't know. But it's the fact that I'm going to wear a wedding dress from my birth culture. And let's say I do wear it to the reception or to the ceremony. Nobody else is going to be wearing anything like it. It's not like just a traditional interracial marriage where two families of two different cultures are merging together, and so you have the bride and then all of her family in their cultural attire. No, it would literally just be me. And then I question, well, if I wear this, is this going to open it up to like random advocacy moments during the wedding? Because I don't really want to be spending the day advocating also. And so it's just been this roller coaster of emotions and decisions and trying to figure out exactly what I want to do while also being true to myself. And what I've really come to realize, at least for now, is that I do not know if there's ever going to be a time where I'm actually extremely comfortable in wearing my cultural attire. Like, I really don't know if there's ever going to be a time. I feel like if there was a time, it would be now, but it hasn't really happened yet. And I mean, I'm still pretty nervous about the photos. I don't know how emotionally it's going to be. And I mean, they're a month away, but I'm already preparing like what I'm supposed to say to the photographer and the beauty team, like, oh, just so you know, like, I will be wearing a white dress, but I'm gonna do this for now. And I don't really know exactly like the style of makeup I should do or the hair I should do because I didn't grow up in that culture. But here's some inspo photos, and I hope that it makes me feel beautiful and authentic and confident. I don't know what's going to happen. Right now, I'm kind of just going to dive in and hope for the best. And, my mom will hopefully be there, and I trust all of the people that I'm working with, but it is a very confusing time in my life. And life happens and things aren't going exactly as I planned. And I think one of the hardest things about being an adoptee and this whole wedding planning process, and I've talked about this in the previous videos, is that it feels like whenever I get a little bit upset about things that are happening in the wedding planning process, it's not that I feel like people are thinking of me as a bridezilla or anything, but it does feel like people are thinking I'm making a bigger deal out of things than I should be. But the underlying theme throughout this whole thing is that I'm going through this major life change. First, still a bit uncomfortable with who I am, still feeling like I was just plopped on this earth, not knowing who my first family is, wishing they were here. And I mean, I am a little bit bitter and angry. I know that we don't really like to use those terms when it comes to adoptees, but I do feel a bit of anger when it comes to the fact that, like, I can't invite them. I have no way of inviting them. And instead, my emails and my texts are filled with other things that are not as important to me, like color schemes, flowers, food tastings. I know those things make a great wedding and a great party, but to me, the entire day was always about the people that I love the most, the people that have supported me being there. So it's been a journey and we're getting closer to it. But yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. We are now farther in the planning process than I was the first time around, and I think I'm still doing a pretty good job. But this time around, I am going with the traditional Chinese wedding dress. And, my friends told me that it's beautiful. I have one of my best friends here is from China, and I talked about her and her boyfriend before, how he's from my hometown, but they're supporting me through this whole thing. It's still just a very personal, confusing time. And I don't know if I have advice for anybody going through the same thing, because sometimes it's a bit crippling, honestly. But I'm getting through it. I didn't participate in National Adoption Awareness Month because I was busy dealing with these emotions instead. And some days I just compartmentalize. I focus on work, I focus on other things, and I just don't do anything related to trying to embrace my identity or trying to wedding plan, because sometimes it can just be too much. So I guess that is where I'm at. Now you know where I've been at for the last few months. Again, I am hoping to get to film a bit more and post a little bit more regularly. I'm in a very weird place. I go back and forth on if I want to continue advocacy, if I want to continue videoing. Any of it right now, I've really been just focusing on writing, and that's been a good outlet for me. But I'm going to try to get back to this YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. If you are interested in more videos, you can always check out these two right here. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.